Welcome back, survivors. I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return to Dinosystem here. Now, we are in a bit of a unique map, as pointed out last episode. It's... well, okay, I can't exactly zoom out that way, but as you can see, it's a weird shape to it. It is because of the creation settings I did go with, but we're basically going to make ourselves a little survival nook in this little spot here, and then we'll probably see slowly about expanding outward. But the only thing about that is that I'm probably going to want to try to maybe get a little bit more resources around here. So what I'm going to do is try planting a few more trees, and we'll also have to see about doing something with this area here. Because if I leave that area open, I know the Troodons are eventually going to come and find us. And that's not exactly a good thing. We do have one hatchet made up, so we'll probably have to make another. I'm just going to... I think that should be a good... oh, right, we can actually do a little further with spots. So I think that should be a good distance between for a nice large pine tree to grow. I was hoping to find taxus trees so I can get the berries and try planting those. However, I don't think we're going to be that lucky. But we're basically going to have to operate as getting our water mostly from up north, if we can, as well as trying to figure out where we're going to get enough resources to create the wood walls. Although, we actually have... okay, we do have enough to... like, we have enough skill to make them. The 5 dung is going to be very hard to get, but the wood walls are what we have to focus on first. So let's get ourselves a bit better equipped with that by making more hatchets. So that's a nice... oh, okay, so those would be some good stones we can turn into sharp stones. So we'll use you, and just look at sharpening like that. And I gotta be careful, because I can't really go south because of a few of the Troodons there, and I can't go directly east because of those two there. I don't think I'm really tough enough to be able to take them on quite yet. Maybe with the hatchets made, I could get 1 or 2 of them, especially with a headshot, but we'll also probably want to get spears made in order to start fishing as well. Nope, shoot. Well, there's some small stones for whatever else we're going to make. Actually, we'll probably need those for making a spear or two. Ooh, that's another nice quality big stone. And just gotta carve that again. So our first objective will probably be just getting enough resources from the little bit we got around here to basically establish our base. Oh, another one's gone, really? God, nothing lasts for very long. I'll have to use that, and actually that I'm not even going to use anymore because the condition went down so much. Okay, but we're going to get ourselves just the tools built up, settle in, make our little shelter area here, and then just kind of go from there on what we should be kind of doing next. So there's 2 sharp stones. I think 3 should probably be enough. We may even look... okay, well... not exactly working out for us for getting these sharp stones, are we? Yeah, the big thing is going to be that food down there. Because we don't have any of the taxus trees, we're not getting any of the berries. And that's usually one of your easiest foods to get quickly in the game, so... that will be a bit problematic, but we're going to get some... just some small sharp stones made up as well. Because we're going to have to do some fishing just to get our first amounts of food in. We may even have to take down a few of the Troodons, because I have a feeling if we get a fish, we clean it, and we cook it, we're probably going to have them come over smelling the food. So we'll go for this as much as... oh, come on. God, it feels like the... I know we're starting off new, but it feels like it's a lot more punishing for just getting things off the ground with. There we go. Okay, I think that should at least be 1, and there's a crafting point up. So there's 1 small one. Okay, so there's 2. And we'll try to see if we can make the last couple here. I think it's a single sharp stone for 2 sticks to make a spear. Oh, that's just a regular stone, so there's our sharp stone pile there. That stone actually has a lot of good quality still to it. I thought it would have gone down condition. I'm glad it didn't. Ah. Okay, well, you're crappy stones, and even though I thought it had good condition, it didn't seem to want to last. Let's try again. Come on, almost there. We just want to try to get these made up. Okay, so there are all of our sharp stones. Now I'll take one of you big guys, and we'll clean up some of the branches, because I don't think we can fail on those. At least I hope not, otherwise, wow, we've really lost our touch. Okay, so there's one stick there. The branches aren't in the best quality, but we don't really need them for it, because these are just going to be fishing spears. Yeah, we're probably going to pass out in just a moment here, so we'll put that there, just kind of sleep here for the night. Surprisingly, a good quality of sleep, although the temperature is dropping steadily, so we're probably going to get woken up in a bit here. Biggest thing is that we're burning through our fat reserves already, and we're going to have to really try curving that around, so fish are probably going to be the best source of that right now, because I don't exactly want to hunt the Troodons and get the entire pack angry at us this early. Yeah, it's not exactly the greatest, but... Okay, let's try making that spear up. Yeah, I know you want steak, but we're going to have to settle with just getting the... Oh, yeah, see, they're already starting to move their way over this way. Yeah, you can see right down here, it's just beside the mountain there. So I'll probably want to keep the hatchet on our back, just in case. It's not very good quality, but I think just a few hits from a hatchet might be enough to remedy it. And we'll have to see how the fishing goes, because it's normally not very good. Like, you don't get very high percent chances for stuff like this. It's supposed to be plentiful, though. Yeah, just sitting at 0, 3, I guess we're going to try it every 5 if we can. There's that went by. Yeah, it's just going to be a luck of the draw and trying here over and over. Because there's not really a way to boost that. There's a time of day that it's boosted. I think it's during broad, like, sunlight. Nothing there. There we go. Okay, so we got some food. Okay, so we're just going to clean that up. It's going to take a little while, but that's okay. Then we're going to use some of our stones and a bit of wood and resin just to get a small fire so we can cook that and then eat it, and that will hopefully restore a lot of our food. Okay, so that's good there. We'll just put in one thing of that and try just for a branch or two. And we'll actually use some of these poor quality branches instead of these ones over here. What do you mean? I thought you've... What? One of the updates was supposed to be that your wetness is not supposed to affect the fire. I thought that was a thing that was going to be worked and put in, because it makes no sense that even if you're soaked, it shouldn't matter for lighting a fire. Because it's not like you're leaking water on the fire. I thought that was something that was done in a while ago, too. It should affect your temperature-wise and everything like that, sure, but lighting a fire because you are wet yourself? That's... It's still small things like that where the game admittedly does need some improvement. Because that does not make any sense in my opinion. And I could see maybe, like, it just makes no sense for that. Like, maybe if the rocks are wet or the wood is wet, but I don't think... Yeah, there's nothing condition-wise to say that the materials are wet, so that way the fire wouldn't start. We'll just have to work with the system and... Okay, seriously, how much do you need for a fire to dry out to be able to light this? Like... And now's the wind exposure inside the fire pit. I feel like I've gone back in versions of the game, to be honest, because I would have thought a fire pit, you dig it down. I mean, granted, wind exposure is something that's very problematic, so that could easily be it, but it's just almost like unnecessary punishment in some ways coming back to it after playing a lot of other games. Like, I'm sort of okay with the failure system for, like, trying to craft stuff and materials getting destroyed like that, but... Oh, crap. Yeah, let me eat that. Get out of here. And I didn't exactly want to do that, but I didn't have much choice thanks to them being there. All I basically can do now is try getting what's... you know what, give me the hatchet, because they're probably going to try coming after us, but let me sleep, restore some of my bars. And I guess we're going to do Troodon hunting this episode, because I don't think they're going to let us go for very long. Okay, well, we're at least not doing too bad. Our muscle soreness is very high, but unless we want to sit around doing nothing, we're going to face that all the time. It's kind of hard to say how I sit with a lot of the systems in Dinosystem. In some ways, yes, they are pretty nice, just to kind of change things up a bit more. Now, you weren't alone, or are you? I almost feel like I want to try getting a headshot off on her. And the thing is, I don't see anybody else around. Oh, never mind. Yeah, those two are there, so... Oh, I'm torn. I wanted to stay here, but maybe we'll even have to look at moving house. No, we've actually made all that much. We'll take the hatchet with us, we'll take the shovel with us, and we'll take the spear with us. And we're going to try going up around north and seeing where else we can go on the island. I was hoping to use this little nook, but again, no water, nothing else for super, like, helpful resources material-wise. It is nice and tucked away, but I couldn't get that wall up in time. And there's a pack of Troodon even up here, too. Okay, well, we'll just get what drinks we can. So where do we want to try going? I guess maybe we'll try up over this way. I mean, there are some ferns, but it looks pretty heavy for vegetation in this area here. And maybe even up here. So let's just get... Okay, I think that should be enough distance from the Troodons. So we're going to just... Oh, no, we're going to stop sneaking. We're just going to march our way up that way. See what we can find. It's kind of nice having, like, little nooks like this area here, or even back here would be good. I kind of forget how... I remember the older days of Dinosystem more where you could make stone walls where just resin and stone, and you didn't have to try going for dung and... Oh, there's a carcass out there. Looks like a Troodon, perhaps. If that's the case, I wonder what it died from. Yeah, it definitely looks like a Troodon. I'm surprised it's just laying out here with nothing else really around it. I think there was a T-Rex we had spotted up here in the last episode, but... Did we even get anything? Oh, I can't... Okay, well, I guess we're going to leave it behind. There's not... Let me see. Can I get the meat off at least? It might be a bad idea, but I might actually eat that raw. Okay, so the Tyrannosaur's up there, so it doesn't look like there's anything at least... Oh! Actually, that's a Tyrannosaur skeleton up there. Yeah, it's going to hurt our health quite a bit there, and that was a chunk, but as long as it's actually not decreasing, we should be able to regenerate that back just with enough time. And the biggest thing is more getting the food in our system, because we don't have any means of that yet. But yeah, there are a few little hiccups with the... Oh, right. Only when I'm doing that can you not see over that way. Oh, and there are mushrooms. So that was one of the things that I wanted to show you guys. Is that these are going to be, I think, like a renewable resource, sort of like the taxus trees, which we managed to have one here. So that's nice. That's pretty nice. Is one... Okay, one of only a few on the island, but... Looks like we may be able to look at building something around here that could help us. So I'm going to start with, again, our good old fire pit. Just try making one of those up. And see if we can almost wall off the little pond there. Just so that way we have a guaranteed source of water without too many things coming after it, or basically avoid the watering hole situation where predators are going to stay completely around it. It does take a while, though, to gather some of the essential things you think wouldn't take too long. I think it's just because of going between so many different games and getting so many different ways and systems to approach it, that you really feel differences like it. Okay, so we need 2 more large stones. And we are going to put the fire pit underneath this tree here, so that way it is sheltered properly. I don't think we'll see anything really come over here. There's a Tyrannosaur. Okay, one is down there, so that we may have to be pretty careful about. But there's no real carcasses left around, so we'll have to take a while and see what there is to the island as we do a little bit more up-close investigations. Hatchet, shovel, that. We're going to go just grab a drink from here. And we're probably just going to have to take a sleep here for the night. So there's not really anything else we can do. We'll let all of our meters hopefully refill and then see maybe if we can cook the mushrooms or something the next day. I don't know if you can eat them raw. Real-life edible mushrooms are out there, however you need to be a master of being able to identify which species of mushroom are which. Otherwise, you eat one, you could basically be eating your own death right there. They can be extremely toxic to you. Or they can give you a lot of nasty side effects that far outweigh any benefits you could get from having them. Oh, I am getting a little wet because of where we are, but we're not doing... Okay, I thought I heard something, but maybe it's just imagination. We're going to get a number of large stones again and start just outfitting ourselves to be a bit more equipped for this new spot. Come on! Like, what are our skills at? I know they're not supposed to be the greatest to start with, but it almost felt like we went 5 to 10 just tries of nothing before we got a single or a stone out of that. Maybe it's just playing so many other games where they don't have such in-depth... I don't even want to say in-depth, just the approach of how to gather materials is different. Because I can't really say there's more added depth to it, because it's not like, oh, if you do this at a certain time, you might get a different quality of it. It's just a stand here for this long and see what you kind of pick out. Okay, well, let's start making a... We'll make 2 large sharp stones just so that way we have ready for hatchets if we need. So we're probably going to be looking at cutting a few trees down to try to make some wood walls. So there's one. And, yeah, I'll probably work at the pond right here as kind of making it around that. I mean, this fire pit we can always dismantle. Are you... It was at 95% done. Stupid numbers. Like, what are our skills? Crafting is supposed to be at level 21. Everything else is about the same. Fishing is only 10, so everything is at least a little improvement over what we started with. Even if it isn't an entire level, but... Oh, come on. I gotta say, it... getting a bit more frustrating now than I was last year for stuff. Oh... those were both high-quality pieces, though. Like, the condition is 100% and 89%. Now, is one of these going to break? That's better, and that's what I expected. Now, we may see one break here, but we'll see in case or not. Okay, so we got those to properly work. And we're pretty tired again, so we're just going to get some drink, or some rain to drink. Now, I am going to just go over here and investigate the mushrooms. I don't think there's actually anything around us to need to sneak away from. I think the T-Rex was more south. Most mushrooms are poisonous. Okay, well, I don't know if there's going to be a way to kind of clue in, but we're going to try having the one. So far, yeah, all that's happening is low temperature, so we'll have to see as it digests if it kills us or not. Ow, and I cannot actually sleep because it's too cold. And even though we're under the palm tree, we're still basically in rain. So I don't think we can even light a fire. Yep, we cannot. And we're not going to dry out unless, what, we're here? No, we won't even start drying out here. So we're... I'm starting to remember all the frustrations of Dinosystem coming back in full again. And I honestly do have to say, I don't know if they really add to the experience or take away from it. It does give you a challenge trying to start out early on as you'd expect, but it also does make it basically impossible to do certain things, because we can't sleep because it's too cold, and we can't light a fire because our, well, the wetness I can understand a little bit in the rain, not our personal body dampness, but... oh boy. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite the endeavor once again, but we're going to save and end the episode off here, and hopefully try to get things set up next episode. It's interesting to be back, I will say that. But thank you guys very much for joining me on another episode of Dinosystem. I don't know how long we'll go with the new series, because, well, we'll have to see how it kind of goes on this island. Given the difference in a lot of the survival games, and just the really different approach Dinosystem takes, we'll see how our experience goes this time around. I know, having played Subnautica, The Long Dark, Don't Starve, Flame in the Flood... I think there have been another one or two survival games as well. But playing all those, none of them have quite the same curve that Dinosystem has, where your skills really dictate on how well you may be able to do in, like, just small things like the gathering system where you can fail and crafting, and it's an interesting creature in its own right, but I wonder if it's almost a little too heavy into itself, that it's not quite as good of an experience as it could be. Like, it's sort of that nitpicking, you do enjoy it, but you also understand the flaws and have ideas about where it could be improved. Like, one of the things was that food did seem to be a really hard thing to come by, and I mean, the mushrooms are good now. We still have to see how well they do for everything, but we'll see what this kind of series goes through. I'm expecting at least 10 episodes of this Return series, just because there might not be as much to do again, even if we have missed a couple of updates, because there's not really been a major system put in or super big added to the game. Like, there's the small mammal was one that is slowly being worked on, or still might be. We got mushrooms. I think there's a wooden sword. And that might be all we've actually kind of missed as we've gone through and waited until we came back. So we'll slowly go along, see how the experience is, and whether we're all enjoying ourselves or not. But until then, thank you all very much for joining me on another episode of Dinosystem. We'll be back next Saturday with another part of the series. So until then, please remember, as always, survivors, to take care and stay alive.